You've been to Middle Earth, do you speak my language? Your elf ears don't need explaining. All I really need for you to do is just please talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me. Get nerdy with
Yeah.
Who did you post up something on or something?
Yeah. And I told him Saturday's gonna be the big day where me and you come head to head, old school nonetheless, Sensei versus the Geekmaster.
Yeah, I was way more amped about it until I got here, and I was just like all deflated, like.
I was gonna say you didn't have the intensity I expected coming through the door. I expected you to kick down the door like fuck BvS and fuck your
I feel like I'm about to show up to a funeral and then start talking shit about the dead person.
Ain't God good? that meme with adult CJ.
Right. Is CJ still hanging around?
Yeah. Him and Nate got into it. You know what I'm saying?
Him and who?
Him and Nate. My homie Nate.
Did?
Yeah. Friendships we put to the test. It's like that meme said, bro.
Damn.
Shit is real. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
What's the consensus in there? Is it pretty much split?
It's a pretty DC heavy group, so I expect it to be pretty good. You have your fanatics. I had to kick out a couple fanatics. I will not take anybody that thinks 10 out of 10. You can think it all day, but when you start bashing other people for even criticizing a little bit, you're out. So I'm dealing with that. Yeah, definitely. Your name's Jor-El something or other. I don't expect you to be exactly, fucking open-minded.
Unbiased.
Yeah, unbiased. There we go. When it comes to the fucking shit. But pretty good. What surprises me is the Marvel heavy group I'm in. The admins over there, the MCU page, are all pretty damn positive about it. I say group consensus is 8. 8 out of 10.
That's fucking crazy. That's crazy.
I hover between now a 7 and an 8. 7 on a bad day, you know what I mean, when I'm thinking about shit too much. 8 when I just get the feels.
You've seen them now, what, like 5 times?
4, yeah, 4, yeah.
I've seen it 3 once theater, 2 bootleg.
But see, that's where I think...
The first time I had to choke it out. I had to choke it down.
That's what gets me. I mean, I like Star Wars Force Awakens. You're like, I saw it 5 times, but you only saw it once in the theater, then you watch it on
once in the theater, then I watched it on bootleg.
bootlegs.
But I mean, for me, the most part, the bootleg is just more to just analyze it. I once got the theater experience, see it, and then the bootleg just helps me go over the details and just get it. And because when I first came out, I gave it like a 7. And I was like, my unbiased opinion, I give it a 7. Fanboy, I'm giving it like 4 or 5. You know what I mean? And then after I watched it and gotten to go through it, I hover more like 4 or 5, because I only enjoyed pretty much like 40%, 50% of the movie, just off rip. And it's not even about like expectations being not met or like overanalyzed, because I really I had simple expectations, and I wasn't asking for a lot from this movie. I was just asking for a decent BvS fight, some character evolution, character development for Batman and Superman. A decent setup for Justice League, you know what I mean? Just simple shit. Like I didn't want, all the pieces were there to make this movie one of the greatest movies. Even with what we got, like with all the critiques and stuff, if they'd have just tweaked a couple things, took a couple things out, added a couple things, and that's where a lot of people are holding out hope for this half an hour, this half an hour uncut shit that's supposed to come out, which I think will bring some clarity to some of the scenes, like the one scene where Lex is talking to that senator dude, and just out of nowhere he's offering him access to the spaceship and Zod's corpse, and that kind of just came like really confusing in the sequence of events that was happening in the movie. So maybe like the half an hour would kind of flesh some of that stuff out. But as far as like let's say one of my biggest problems with the movie, like just off rip, is the characterization of the characters. You know what I mean? They totally destroyed Superman. Batman had the best characterization. He was one of my favorite parts of the movie, even though that I think that they got a lot of shit fucked. Not a lot of shit, but there were a couple things that I had beefs with their characterization of Batman. And I didn't like Lex at all, you know what I mean? And I could go into details and all that stuff, but that was basically like, it was supposed to be a character-driven story, and it was kind of a character-driven story, but it was driven by terrible characters, which is kind of why I got the feeling of it that I did. Like, for Superman's characterization, for instance, he doesn't show up till like 14, 15 minutes into the movie. First thing he does is save Lois by fucking flying a dude through a wall, fucking supersonic speeds and shit. Like, right after the whole beef shit from Man of Steel.
And then not only that, he grabs Lois, flies off, goes back home, and leaves a village full of people to get massacred.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's not Superman. All right. There are a couple other instances, such as like when they get home and she's talking to him about it because they're watching it on the news and shit. She's like, "Damn, this shit's serious, man. What are we gonna do?" And he's like, "Baby, I don't give a fuck what they saying. The woman I love was in danger. What was I supposed to do? Like, you're Superman. You're supposed to save them and save her."
Right.
Like that.
He might
no
not
such
have
thing as an
known something was
impossible
going down,
situation.
but that opening scene did leave a bad taste in my mouth.
How does he not know he's got superheroes?
I get that. And he apparently can hear Lois all across the world.
Oh, across the world.
Can't hear Martha.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll give you that all day.
Like, since you brought up Martha, with the whole plan with Lex, another reason I didn't like him is because I felt like his plans were so transparent and like you could just see through it, like 100%. And he didn't even think this shit through. Like, if Doomsday was successful in killing Superman and killing Batman, how was he supposed to stop the motherfucker after that? Like, they didn't say maybe that in the half an hour he'll have like a kill switch in it or some shit. But as far as we know from watching the theatrical cut, he just unleashed this beast and was like, "Don't do."
I think that was his fuck all plan. Like, I think his main
Like,
plan,
fuck all.
like Batman, if Batman loses and I can't get away with the scot-free, I'm burning all bridges, fuck the world.
This is blow up the world. And then another thing, his whole plan to get Superman to fight Batman, he kidnaps Martha. He can hear Lois' heartbeat halfway across the world. He can identify her heartbeat. I'm sure he can identify his mother's heartbeat.
Especially since that was the first thing she either focus on my voice. Like the first time he honed in his I mean, I could have
All she's got to do is whisper like, "Clark, I'm over here."
Yeah.
All he has to do is fly off, kill everybody in the fucking building, because we know he's killing people nowadays and shit. So he just kill everybody there, fly her home, and then come back and show up like, "What's up, Lex?"
I mean, who'd he kill though? I mean, you say he killed Superman. You say he killed the dude in the beginning, but say if I grabbed you and he flew like this, you know what I mean? He would have been punching the walls before dude hit the wall.
He grabbed the dude with both hands on his shoulders. You got the bootleg, right? You can watch it frame by frame. He grabs the dude by shit and flies him through a wall. At the very least, he shattered that dude's spine.
Yeah.
At the very least, he shattered that dude's spine. Batman also killed a whole bunch of people. Fucking Superman, when he was... Like, I have to probably get my note. There's another instance where he was killing people and shit. And then, like, in the nightmare sequence, I guess that's just the nightmare sequence, whatever shit. Of course, he just came in, just lighting motherfuckers up and shit because Lois was dead. And apparently, Batman killed her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck?
But
Batman killed Lois? Like,
I
what?
love the nightmare sequence because it shows you what happens if both characters go the opposite way that they should be going. Batman's killing people with guns. Superman overtook the world with his power. And that's why I love the ending so much. It's because Batman broke, I guess 10 years ago is when Robin died. We found out in a Snyder interview recently. And then you draw it, and that's why I love the beginning of the movie, because you get his parents dying scene, which is deep as fuck, and then you show it with Metropolis, the Black Zero event, and his family getting killed, quote unquote, his work family. And that kind of, the Robin death scene shattered him. The Black Zero event almost broke him. So that ain't our Batman. He's already broken. He's almost Punisher-wise. You know what I mean? That's why I love the end of the movie when Superman dies and shit. He has to become that hero again. He's like, we have to honor him. I will become that hero. I'm going to become the man I once was, if not even better. That was deep to me. That's why I like Batman's characterization. And you know me, I'm a Batman purist. I'm okay with him killing people if he's broken like that, and then he comes back from that darkness. So when he died, like, Superman inspired him. And that's deep to me. Now, Superman's characterization... I almost want to name this movie Superman Silent because he is seen, not heard in a lot of the movie. You know what I mean?
He's not even in most of the movie, except to get shit on.
Right. But one of the big things about, I think, the movie that kind of tainted us, and this is why I came out of it in the second viewing it, liking it so much more, was I thought, let me view this movie, and when I see the 15,000 scenes I've already seen in the trailers, I'm going to apply how I felt the first time I saw that in the trailers into this movie experience. Because one of the things this movie suffered from, same thing with Deadpool, is way too much overexposure from the trailers. Especially for us, who we're Uber fans and admins, so we're going to watch a trailer 100 times. We've seen some of the best things. Like
Mimi and shit. Or meme.
He said Mimi again! We got it recorded! He said Mimi!
Meme that shit again.
But... like, one of the most powerful scenes, I think, in the whole movie was ruined by the trailer, and it was so much like a graphic novel, was when our boy, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the Round Table and shit, it was so much like a comic book, where you saw a news team discussing it, and then it would cut to something Superman's doing. You would see what they're saying in a box right there. Cut back to them, see what Superman's doing, and they're still talking in the box right there. It felt so much like a graphic novel, but the gravitas and the weight of the scene is lost on us because we've seen him save the rocket ship so many times. We've seen that Messiah floating down the sand.
And that's all that they
the
gave
hurricane
us too.
ship.
Like that was one of the things that kind of didn't bother me, but it was just like I thought they could have done more to help the characterization of Superman because they really only gave him that montage of super feats and shit.
Yeah.
Other than that, he was just getting shit on. He was getting framed, and you know what I mean. And another part of his characterization that I feel was just like fucking Superman Returns is that he just moped the whole movie. Like he was feeling sorry for himself,
but
not believing in himself. He's just moping around.
Get it? Because
You know what
it
I
kind
mean?
of draws parallels to Man of Steel. You put out this great shit to save the world, basically, and all you do is get shit on. Like I feel like some of that was Superman getting shit on, and some of that was a correlation for Man of Steel getting shit on for no reason at all, just over and over again. And you see Superman just getting sick. Like, why am I saving
They
y'all?
didn't
Y'all
balance it out though. It just felt so unbalanced. Like you would think having Superman and Batman in the movie that with him, because I also like told myself like I can understand the branding and all that shit, thinking about Robin's death. Like I factored that into my.
And real quick, that Alfred scene when he says that, like, oh, so we're criminals now?
Yeah,
Like,
so
we're
we're always
doing
been
darker shit?
criminals,
He's like,
you
dude,
see.
we're always
We're
criminals.
always been
He's like, no, motherfucker, you're getting a little bit too dark. With this.
Yeah,
and
like-
that's that Batman characterization I like. But yeah, go ahead.
like I can understand kind of you factor in the Robin death thing, and you can understand why he's going to the extreme and shit. Maybe that's why he's going over the edge, killing motherfuckers and shit. But he was killing motherfuckers indiscriminately. My whole like the nightmare scene thing was cool to show like the possibilities of it. My whole problem with that is that how the fuck does Batman get visions of the future? Like that,
I agree.
That makes no sense to me at all. I mean, if it was a dream, that's one thing, but a dream that comes true can be interpreted as a premonition.
You know what they should have done?
You know what I'm saying?
And this would have been so much better because the editing in there fucks that whole scene. I agree with you. I love the scene, but how you get there was bullshit. You know, you're looking at a computer and he zones out. What should have happened was, boom, blue light comes out of nowhere. And Bruce is like, what the fuck? And he walks up and he touches it. Boom, he gets a flash of nightmare. And then when he gets out of the nightmare, he sees Flash come out of the blue light, and he just gives that little spiel. Now it makes sense. You're touching a temporal vortex, a temporal flux. It gives you a vision of an alternate
something
future.
like that. I totally agree. And that's what I meant earlier when I mean like they could have tweaked.
Yeah,
a couple
yeah,
things. Just
absolutely.
Tweak a scene here, tweak a detail there,
Yes.
and it makes the scene and the sequence make sense.
So much better.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's also like the same thing with Doomsday and shit. Like they're talking like Span speculated so much about Doomsday. You know they're going to do the new 52 version of him with the Doomsday gene. This, that, and the other. There's no explanation for that. Lex fucking takes the corpse of Zod, puts it in some fucking amniotic fluid, bleeds on it, and it makes a fucking deformity and shit. Now, once again, maybe in this half an hour cut that's going to be getting revealed and shit, they're going to kind of clarify
the first
this.
clip they did show us was him in
You
the
know what I'm
blood
saying?
pool. You know what I
So
mean?
maybe they'll kind of clarify it and kind of explain it a little bit more. But that whole Lex and the Kryptonian ship, like that whole line of events from how he got access to it to how easy and convenient he was able to manipulate and override the AI. The AI is like, yo, man, I can't do this against my programming. The fucking Council of Krypton this, and fucking Lex goes, where's the Council of Krypton now?
Which was kind of a
Not
slip line.
going, and then the fucking computer goes, okay, overriding. Like,
But he brought up a logical point.
Yeah, but not to a computer. The computer's got safeguards. It's
Right,
an
but
AI.
it probably
You give a
processed
fuck
it.
about Lex, like, you got a point.
Council forbids it. Is there a council? No, so who forbids it? You know, computer logic, boom.
But in the computer's logic, just because the council is there doesn't mean that their logic doesn't apply anymore. It's like they had a reason for doing this. They obviously programmed its parameters in there for a reason. It will probably have safeguards and shit. I mean, even being damaged and shit, I can understand. Maybe be like, maybe the computer lost its mind. I don't know, but it just needed some more context.
I won't argue with that because that is a scene that I didn't care for either.
I mean, maybe they could, like I said, like just a couple more words. Like, and if they would have cut like the Batman origin part out, that was a good. I mean, even though it was a visually sexy ass fucking shit,
yes.
especially like the Martha Dent shit with the
pearls,
and shit.
yeah. Ooh.
I mean, Snyder knows how to set up a beautiful ass shot.
Yes.
That was a beautiful shot. But the whole falling down into the ground, the bats flying around you, lifting them up in the air, that shit was uncalled for. All the extra symbolism and all that shit.
You had to set up
Over the
something
top.
for the Martha scene later.
And really, and that's, oh man, they could have did without that shit. They could have left.
Hold on, I want to take
They
it one
could
step
let
at a
the
time.
whole-
I want to dive into your mind good. So first and foremost, Superman. I want to finish that. You don't like Superman's characterization.
They
We nailed
destroyed
on some of
Superman.
it, but why? I wouldn't go
They
as far as
destroyed
that,
him.
but I want to hear why you think they destroyed him.
They basically like I said, the whole killing thing, like the whole not learning anything from Man of Steel. the way that basically not only him but Batman are both portrayed as hypocrites and shit. Like Superman is acting like he doesn't like Batman's brand of justice while he's out here fucking just doing whatever the fuck he wants, causing international incidents, flying people through fucking walls and shit. And Batman is over here like, I don't like the way you do shit, you fucked up, man. And still, even though he obviously is a smart dude, he heard the transmission from Zod last movie. So he knows that Clark isn't the one who came down invading the planet. Yes, Clark, by him trying to figure out who he was, inadvertently led this invasion to Earth and shit. So he's kind of at fault for that, but he was only trying to figure out who he was. He didn't know that was going to happen. But he saw on the TV, he was in Metropolis the day it happened. He saw this dude trying to fight to save everybody he could. He saw him trying to fight against them. He saw him doing, and then by his own admission, he saves cats from trees. So the fact that he's trying to perceive him as this mega fucking threat just seems kind of illogical to me. And for me, looking at a Batman character, I totally understand Batman with his prep time wanting to make sure that he has a backup plan against the threat that Superman poses. I just have a problem with him kind of going out assassin mode. And maybe again, it's just the extreme mode of him being all dark because of Robin's death. But the fact that he was like, you know what, I'm going to go out here and kill this dude. And that 1% chance that he might be a threat, I'm going to make it 100 and justify it that way. When he's got a kid killed, I mean, these seem hypocritical. But like on Superman, I feel like they use him like a plot device. And that he was just there to get shit on. He got no type of shine, as even when he was doing, like, this is the first time I watched the Superman a movie or anything with Superman in it where I like almost came to like hate my own fucking hero and shit. Like anytime he did, like they did the montage with him saving the shuttle and saving the girl from the whatever, people touching all on him and all that shit. In the background, they're talking shit about him. Neil deGrasse Tyson's the only one trying to be logical about the shit, you know what I mean? And it's like you couldn't even enjoy the heroic shit he was doing because in the background you got everybody talking about how fucked up Superman is.
But I feel on some real shit, if he would come to America 2016, that's how it would be. You're an immigrant. I mean, look at Trump culture right now. You're an immigrant that came here. That's what kind of Batman. Kevin Smith said he was like Donald Trump. Man, that's actually a brilliant analogy because yeah, I am going to blame you because if you weren't here, Zod wouldn't have been either. It's a very simplistic way of thinking,
but he didn't come here on his own. His parents sent him here, so I mean, you blame.
But that's not common knowledge. I don't think it's not public knowledge.
He had to get there somehow, and like, if anybody bothered, and this is another thing, he's supposed to be the world's great Batman. I'm talking about supposed to be the world's greatest detective, but he didn't bother in the 18 months between Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman to investigate.
What Lois did in the very beginning of Man of Steel.
Yeah, exactly. And figure out what she figured out in 3 weeks or whatever, and figured out who Superman was, and the world's greatest detective they figured out in 18 months. Yeah. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. And he would have been able to find out his mom's name was Martha a long time ago, and they could have been bros from the get-go. You know what I mean?
Right. Like in the animated movie Batman and Superman, all he did was throw a tracer on his cape and then waited outside of his apartment like a gangster and waved to him.
In Justice League, the Jeff Johns and Jim Lee did, and the inspired Justice League War. Batman already knew who Superman was when they first met and shit. Like he said, whatever, Clark, and then Clark's like, what? The X-rays him and shit. Like, okay, what's up, Bruce? You know what I mean? Right, yeah. So I mean, it was just that easy, and
I'll give you that, but I don't hear any. I mean, Superman, the characterization for me anyway is. I think that was very representative. This ain't your daddy's Superman, where you come into the 1950s and everybody's going to wave white flags at you and whatnot. This is a very suspicious, very xenophobic fucking culture right now, and that would be the culture Superman would come to. It'd be split down the middle, 50-50. You know, the Republican tards would fucking hate Superman because it's going against religion, it's going against, you know, what they perceive the world, and that's fucking people's head up. And I like that idea of Superman. Anything he does, and the Africa scene is very Earth 1, Volume 2. Where there's something going on in the Middle East and Superman intervenes and it creates an international incident. That's actually drawn directly from the comics. I like that. Where's Superman's jurisdiction? You know what I mean? So it could have been handled better. That whole opening scene was butchered. But from what I'm hearing, that is a lot of the 30 minutes is the opening scene itself. Like even Jimmy Olsen has a lot more screen time, and they say how he gets there.
But see, if you start giving all this extra time to all the like Jimmy and all that, then what time is left for him to flesh out other shit? I don't know. I just feel like they made him very selfish because even if they are using comics as inspiration, it's like they only took the idea and left out everything that made that shit make sense. You know what I mean?
I can agree to that.
You know what I'm saying? Like they just took like for the Dark Knight Returns, they like the whole reason that we got to the Dark Knight Returns. There was a whole like 50 years worth of comic history building up to that shit. You know what I mean? And it was believable in that shit. Even if you don't agree with how it turned out, the fight wise and shit, the scenario made sense. You know what I mean?
But isn't that what they did in BvS for the first hour? Was they fleshed out the history and the
I don't know
environment
what
of
they
these
were doing in the
characters?
first hour, and that's what's crazy is because when the movie opens, like for like the first half an hour, I'm on board. I like what they're going. I like how they're laying the groundwork. I like how it's getting set, like with the opening with the origin shit, and you know the discrepancies I'm having with Superman fucking acting like he don't give a shit about nothing and just saving Lois, and that's really all he gives a shit about. And if it's between saving Lois and saving a fucking village, he's gonna choose Lois and shit. Like, other than that shit, I was enjoying how they were setting it up. You know, it was there, but then it just got to a point where it just started like going down for me. Like I want to try to pinpoint. It had to be in between the train because like the first hour, it's like an hour before the nightmare scene happens, and I think by the time the nightmare scene happens, that's when I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? All right, but like the first half an hour, I'm really on it, and I felt like that. Another part of the characterization that they missed out on that could have gave Superman a lot of development was exploring him as Clark doing the investigative reporting. He did like no investigative.
They did the
reporting.
bare bones of just him
He went
wanting to
the
be
party.
one. Yeah,
exactly. He
talking
really
about
did.
it with Perry and shit. But
He talked. He went to the Daily Planet one time. He went to the gala or whatever, and then he wasn't at the Daily Planet for the rest of the movie.
they should have gave one of the. I love Lois Lane character in the movie. I don't care what anybody says. I think they nailed her. But she did a lot of investigation work and a lot of cool scenes of visuals, like we meet at the river, we meet under a bridge when it's raining. Really classic fucking I meet my source here type scenes.
I felt like that she really did.
But they could have gave one of those to Clark. You know what I mean? One of those scenes just replace Lois with Clark and have him investigate. And they're supposed to be partners too on top of it, so they could be tackling the same story together. And then you
he's
get
the
a
one
kind of a
with
bonding
the
moment with
super
them.
senses and shit. Like he would be dope ass investigative reporter.
Look how fast he figured out Bruce just by hearing the comm language. I kind of like that too. He's like,
Yeah, that was dope.
Okay.
Like I was right there to see. He's like, oh, okay, this Batman motherfucker over here.
He's like, let me check him real quick. Hey, what you think about the Batman character, huh? Bruce?
Yeah. They definitely missed to drop the ball on that, but like Lois, like I didn't really have a problem with Lois, her character per se. I just felt like that what she did was pretty much useless because by the time she figured out Lex was involved, Lex was kidnapping her.
I mean,
You know
she
what
had a couple dope scenes. You had the scene in the beginning where she was like, "I'm not a woman, I'm a journalist." I was like,
Real quick,
"Ooh."
let me stop you there. That's kind of a cheesy ass line, and it's the same cheesy shit that Supergirl gets criticized for.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody's praising it in BvS.
Oh, they ain't praising it.
Oh, they're not.
They don't like
because
Lois.
I was hearing motherfuckers like Nate were saying like, I can't watch these TV shows no more because the writing is this, that, and the other. It's too. And him specifically said that he can't watch Supergirl because of how cheesy it is and shit. And I'm like, right there, open it up is a cheesy ass line. Then they were hit and miss on the dialogue though, because right after she says that,
yeah, the homeboy with the ignorance,
with the
same as
ignorance, it's not ignorance. It's, I'm like, ooh, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like mixed on like every scene. Like you have a cheesy line, and you have a dope ass line.
But I think a lot of the good lines too also got ruined in the fucking trailer, like the absolute certainty. That Bruce line, gives me chills.
It was definitely better.
But
in
the 50th
trailer.
time when I see it in the movie, I'm like, okay, next. And I feel like that was a lot of my thing when I first saw the movie. I was like, next, I already seen this. So my second time, anything I saw in the trailer, I'm like, think about how I felt the first time. Think about me and you would hurry up and text each other, geek out when a new trailer came out. I went with that kind of mindset. So I put them feels into the scenes. I came out and enjoyed it so much more. But real quick, Superman, I mean, overall, I'm going to finish Lois. I love Lois' character. Love it. That line, and then she went in the men's bathroom and she said, "Man, with balls like this, you do belong in here, bitch." I like that.
Yeah, that was
and then you had
that dude's a good actor.
A real good actor. And I love their chemistry, too. And then she met him under the bridge and at the riverside. And it's classic cinema where a reporter's meeting a source or a deep throat type source, blah, blah, blah. And that just kind of imagery really felt Lois Laney. And the big complaint a lot of people have is she's too much of a damsel in distress. She's fucking Lois Lane. She is the damsel in distress. That's her motif. You name me one time Lois
She's
isn't.
a gangster-ass damsel in distress.
Yes.
Though.
But, I mean, even then she was calling Lex psychotic. Like, she wasn't scared, you know what I mean? And then she's still trying to save the day and shit and do her thing.
But
like,
really, what did she do in the movie, though?
She moved to the investigative reporting. I think it was a core to the Lois character. So
They had to give her something to do, so she chased the bullet around trying to get information from the dude. She finally figured out, like, oh, how would they know he's in the desert? Fuck, she has a flashback and thinks about her being there and makes the connection that they figured out who Clark was. And as soon as she figures that connection, she runs off and then Lex kidnaps her. So she finds out that Lex is involved in it. So basically everything she did was just her running around doing nothing for it.
True, but tracing a lead like a reporter would. She
Right,
might not have got to
yeah.
the meat of the story, but she was doing what a reporter
So,
would, and that's
I
the
mean-
lowest
I
characterization.
mean, like I said,
I've
I have no beef with her. It's just like she didn't do anything. And same thing with Wonder Woman. Like basically her whole involvement in this movie was trying to chase down a digital photo.
I'll get to that one. I'll co-sign that all day. But I'll get to that in a second. I'll get to that in a second. But Superman, I want to touch on him because the characterizations are your main complaint so far. Superman, I dug. And I understand the popular saying on the internet, and I know you're in exile right now, but the popular saying is, if you're a Batman fan, you loved it. If you're a Superman fan, you hated it.
I think I started that shit.
You might have.
I think I started that
Copyright
shit.
that shit so every time somebody says
No,
you have a
fuck the
nickel.
copyright, 'cause
You have a
I'm saying-
shit ton of nickels.
But I felt that way as soon as I talked to Christian because he basically doesn't hate it, but he has very low
On Man of Steel.
on Man of Steel and
Yeah.
shit. And he's not praising it, but he's way higher on BvS and shit.
But on the flip side,
and he
CJ
admitted that it was because of Batman. And that's
is a
basically what
huge
it is.
Superman fan, and he gave it an 8. And I actually really trust CJ's opinion. I think he's objective.
I think
Christian,
CJ
I wouldn't say he's objective. Sorry, brother.
I mean, not to say that none of them are. I mean, I'm sure Christian is trying to be objective as he can in his mind or whatever, and you can't fault somebody for. I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Like, to
Absolutely.
me, this is an ugly ass movie and shit. So it doesn't mean that nobody else can't find it beautiful, but I can't. For me, I just personally can't see an 8 on it. I might be able to push myself to like a 6, but I just can't.
I'm gonna
see
get you
it.
a 7 by the end of the day. That's my goal. All right, the Superman. I get it because he doesn't talk a lot, so I'll call it Superman silent. I get that he was seen, not heard,
Yeah.
but the Messiah complex. I mean, a lot of it was the imagery spoke a million fucking words, like a picture's worth 1,000 words. A lot of them scenes.
You want a beer?
Yeah, I'll take a beer. Fuck it. It's podcast time. Fuck my stomach. Weed and some fucking alcohol's out. We get down in our podcast, and the next day we'll wonder where it all went wrong. Thank you, sir. But the Superman shit, a lot of the scenes got me. Just that simple, the Masonic fucking flying down from the heavens, saving the people, using the symbol of the hope. That scene where when Lex blows up the Capitol Hill and that look on his face, like, I can't save these people. He doesn't even try. Like, he already knows that you just see his world crashing down around him. And then his death. I actually am a big fan of the death scene. I'll get to that later. But I can see why Superman fans are a little bit upset because he got bare bones on the story. I'll actually say that for everybody across the board. One of my big beefs with everybody is a lot of the characterization wasn't necessarily off, it wasn't fleshed out as much as it needed to be. Like, I feel like if I treat Lex, and we'll transition to Lex, and that's where I think we'll co-sign a lot, because I like Jesse Eisenberg's performance for what they're going for. And when I thought about it, because I was like, Lex wasn't that sinister, but then I think about this shit, I'm like, he pissed in a jar, took it to Capitol Hill, put it on front of his bitch's dude, or the desk, blew up used a handicapped dude's wheelchair to blow up the entire Capitol Hill politicians and his only friend Mercy. That's some pretty Lex Luthor shit. If not one of the most evilish things I've ever seen. Right. But, that said, goofy as fuck, and I can't it gets on my fucking nerves. Yeah. Now, if I treat it like an origin scene, it's the way I kind of flip it, is Clark, to me, was not Superman until the very last scene of Man of Steel when they did the whole Welcome to the Planet scene. Because that was when he finally realized, the character came full circle. For Lex, he isn't Lex to me until he gets his head shaved. And I think that was one big Lex origin story. So I think I might appreciate this characterization more later on when I see the character development that comes from it.
Coming back.
Oh, yeah, he'd be back.
Where?
Justice League Part 2.
Part 2?
Not Part 1.
We'll see. I mean, they do got more contracts, so they kind of got to use him and shit. But there was nothing about this Lex I like. I mean, when he first came on, I was like, okay, I can ride with this. It's not, like you said, the performance. It's not that his performance was bad. It's just this was not any type of Lex that I could get behind and shit. His plan was see through and transparent and shit. It surprises me that Lois and Bruce could not put 2 and 2 together, and like Bruce was easily manipulated by this dude, even though he already had some kind of fire burning towards Superman. Lex was easily able to manipulate him and shit, and then he sent Mercy to her death for no fucking reason, like at all. Like,
well, maybe to cover it up like he did in Superman's Doomsday.
Why? Why? What is the purpose of sending Mercy in there to die with everyone else? Like, nobody, if everybody's going to die, could have been like, oh, why don't you go get me a drink or something real quick? Or he could have had her hip to the planet and he didn't even have to bring her.
Well, remember Superman Doomsday? He literally shot her because that was the only one that knew his evil plan. So maybe he was taking care of a loose end. He was killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Man, and that's Lex Luthor to me. And I'm not defending the characterization because, once again, I think he's way too fucking goofy for my liking.
Wait, it's not even goofy. Yeah, like, it wasn't even that he was goofy. It was like he was... Like, he had Tourette's and he was all anxious and like he did like act like schizophrenic. Like, to me, Lex is like brilliantly deceptive, eloquently methodic and shit with his plan. You know what I mean? He is Like he's intellectually deliberate with the way that he does shit. You know what I mean? And like you said, pissing in the jar, like that's some juvenile type shit. You know what I mean? Like,
but on the flip side of that,
that's some juvenile shit. Like Lex ain't got time to be pissing in jars. And
Pre-Lex Luthor, right? And not only that's a lot of piss. That took a couple days. You know what I mean? That was a couple days of morning piss right there.
And even as an origin Lex story and shit, like you saw like I hate to compare genre, Smallville's and shit like that, but you saw like the origin.
But Smallville cheated because they gave us Lex Luthor before Lex Luthor. Now, if you go by Jeff Johns' secret origins when he has the long hair and he's a little bit tweaky and goofy, and then something happens to make him that darker character, then I'm a little bit more on board. I think as of now, I don't like this Lex, but it could be something I appreciate later. I honestly can. Because I'm like, okay, this is sinister and goofy, but look at him, he's going to prison. Look at what prison did for Kingpin, even though he was kind of badass in Daredevil. But it made him a little bit darker and more of the character that we knew because he's going in that environment. Now you're putting Lex in with the worst of the worst. You're putting that tweaky hoo-hoo-hoo. He has to become hard to survive that jungle. And I think that kind of Lex would. He adapts to his environment, and he might come out the Lex that we know. And then I'm like, okay, well, that's not that bad. Now I've seen how he progresses. It might be deep character development. But that's a maybe, and I'll give you that.
And this is, once again, what like I see my fellow DC fans doing and shit. Like, they just keep finding ways to hold on hope to something that it's...
But I shouldn't have to explain
like it's obvious. Like you shouldn't have to do that and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't have to sit here and be like having to make all these ambiguous assumptions which build expectations for yourself to be disappointed on in the future.
But I'm thinking, what about this? What if DCEU is working in a completely different way than
this
we're
is the BCU, bro. There's no mistake about it. This is the Batman cinematic universe, dude.
Fuck you on that shit for now.
That is
Fuck
all
you
it's
on
gonna
that
be.
shit for now. But think about it this way.
They should have just, instead of doing this BvS, they should have just made a Batman standalone movie now. You know what I mean? They should, or at least did it like you asked me what my synopsis and shit would have been. Like, I would have either tried to just do a straight up origin team up story, or like the only two ways that, like, for me personally, I don't ever see an instance where Batman and Superman will really come to blows unless it's A, one of them is mind controlled, or B, one of them is going to such extremes that the other one has to stop in to stop him and shit. You know what I mean? So with that being said, in this premise, I think that they should have went to the extremes. Like, maybe Batman is over in Gotham going buck wild crazy and shit, and Superman, after the international incident over here in Africa, he goes to the Capitol Hill, and to get back in the good graces of people in the government and shit, they're like, hey, why don't you go take care of this bat problem for us and shit, man. He's like, okay, yeah, I'll go take care of that and shit, whatever. And then it kind of fostered it like that shit. That kind of would have gave, I mean, at least to me, just a little bit more validity to the reasoning why they're going head to head, because it just was very tenuous to be generous about it and shit. And the reason for them to start fighting in the first place, and then for them to stop fighting based on like whatever. Like somebody tried to tell me the whole Martha thing, which kind of like it's feasible, but it's a reach. When they say like the reason why when he realized his mother's name was Martha, it made him stop because he realized that it wasn't an alien, it wasn't some war crazy whatever, and he had a family. You know, he had a girlfriend that was there for him.
I co-sign that, but not only that. Think about this. He just realized in that moment how close he became to being Joe Chill. Because if he would have killed Superman in that instance, becoming a murderer like Joe Chill, Martha would have died just like his Martha died. And then that snapped in his head like, I'm crossing the line. That's where we both got our Batman back. And if you think about it this way,
it's feasible. It's feasible.
First full Batman scene we got in the whole movie was near the end when he saved Martha. That was the first time we actually seen him in just plain clothes, no robot suit, no apocalyptic Batman, because that's when he starts coming back to his old self. I think this movie is a little bit more psychological than, you first think of, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it definitely, like I said, I feel the undertones of it, and the pieces were there for it to be immaculate. But the way that it came out, and like I said, like a final rating will have to come out, of course, when the fucking uncut
DVD,
comes out
absolutely.
and shit. But
absolutely.
The theatrical cut, if the DVD comes out and it makes the theatrical cut look like, what the fuck were y'all doing? Then you have to question what Warner Brothers is doing. Is Warner Brothers gonna fucking destroy the goddamn universe?
There it is, and that's,
You know
I'm
what I
about to
mean?
go on a tangent. Warner Brothers does not deserve DC. Warner Brothers has been DC's worst enemy for the past 10 fucking
Maybe
years.
that's what it is.
That is what it is.
They
Think
need a
about
new
it.
studio. And
Warner
shit.
Brothers decided after to bring back the comic book universe after Batman and Robin bombed, they gave us Catwoman, Jonah Hex, and some other fucking stupid ass fucking movie. That was their great idea. They hit gold with Nolan's Batman out of nowhere.
Goyer was on that too, wasn't he?
Yeah, Goyer was on that. And the only reason it really blew up because the first movie only did $300 million. People forget Batman Begins was not a financial success. It was barely good enough. And people were like, well, people didn't understand what a reboot was. You called the movie Batman Begins. They fucking understood. And the only reason it blew up is because Heath Ledger died. And so that brought in a lot of fangirls and people we normally wouldn't get in comic book movies in there. And that's what gave us the big Batman boom. I'm happy for it, but no one got lucky. The other time we got lucky was Young Justice. But what did they do there? They canceled it halfway before season 1 ended. Then hurry up and gave us a bunch of new episodes. And then instantly started the second season without announcing it. And then canceled it. And then they gave us Teen Titans Go. And then they give us, I don't think, a Green Lantern. Warner Brothers doesn't know comic books. Shit too. Fox, God damn it, you have me on record. Fox has made more better superhero movies than Warner Brothers.
Whoa. I was about to co-sign for a minute.
X-Men ain't that bad. X2 is great. Deadpool, that right there, you beat the DCEU.
Yeah, I mean,
and
X-Men 1 is
First Class
terrible. X2 is, I mean, not terrible, but like, and I'm gonna say this: BvS is not unwatchable. X-Men is unwatchable. X-Men 2 is one out of the original trilogy. That's my favorite one, and it's only like it's like a 7.75 or whatever. Yeah. Shit. But
when it came out, it was like a 9. To be honest with you,
I think we might be onto something with that Warner. If this movie comes out uncut on DVD, and it really is able to jump scores, like let's say I go from a 5 to a fucking 7.5 and shit, just based off of that, just a 1.5 rating uptick, just off of 30 fucking minutes. Then you have to worry about how this shit is being handled, and if the real problem is the studio. And
Did you reread the quote I sent you from Snyder? If you read between the lines, holy shit, he was like, I had a movie, and up until just a couple weeks ago, that was what I thought was coming out. Somebody thought it was too long. I didn't think it was too long. But I'm not going to be like James Cameron and say, fuck you, take my 3-hour movie. Right. I just took it on the chin. Yeah. But this was the version I wanted to come out. He is attached to Justice League Part 1. He can't come out like Josh Trank did on Twitter and be like, fuck you all, motherfuckers. Yeah. That's why I'm giving Snyder a little bit of a break, because I think it's WB. And I think it's fuck WB.
Okay, well, with that being said, I can kind of give Snyder leeway on it because he doesn't have the ultimate say on it and shit and or whatever. But still, even if they did gut it, 3 hours is still plenty of time. Even if they cut a half for 2.5 hours, is still plenty of time to make a dope ass movie. You know what I mean? And I originally wasn't. I was geeked about having a 3-hour runtime. I'm like, man, shit, they should make it 4 hours. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's get this bitch cracking. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And especially for a movie of that caliber, that your entire fucking empire, WB, is riding on. Right. Let it be as long as it wants to fucking be. Man. The audience doesn't like big movies. Lord of the Rings were hella successful.
So how does that WB DC relationship work?
Like Disney owns Marvel, WB owns
DC.
The only, and this is a sad thing,
so we're stuck with it.
Or Disney buys it out. It's the only thing we got.
Disney ain't buying it out. They'll never sell it.
Don't be surprised.
They'll never. I mean, Disney's got the money.
Warner Brothers is only worried about movies. So if the movie empire does start to crack, I don't know. I don't think it will happen, but I wouldn't rule it out as a never. Because Warner Brothers is fucking up. Maybe even DC will try to wiggle out somehow.
Man, I just can't see Disney with DC. I would like to see somebody else. Anybody, like, I don't know who else could really take it. Like,
the one thing that makes me kind of calm about that is that Disney lets the MCU do the MCU thing. They really do. MCU's worst enemy is the MCU. Kevin Feige is overrated. And same thing with the comics. The comics have been untouched by Disney. So Disney's actually kind of impressed me the past couple. Look how good they've handled the Star Wars property. Man, letting the Star Wars guys do their shit.
They've handled it all right. I mean, in different aspects. Like, they've handled the comic books very well. The animating department, they've handled very well. Speaking of which, I got that episode for you.
Good looking.
And the cinematic universe is kind of like there. You know what I mean? Like, it's I'm excited about a new trilogy, but I was, for the most part, disappointed in Force Awakens. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I mean, I still dig the movie. The Blu-ray is fucking magnificent.
I can wait till Tuesday. I can't wait, bro.
I thought it came out on
Digital Friday. Friday.
Okay,
Real DVD Tuesday.
I heard an advertisement for it on the radio, and they said something about it. I said, I'm gonna pick that bitch up today.
That's right. I can't wait. You best believe I put that bootleg through the ringer.
Yeah, because I got the Blu-ray on my computer already, and I wasn't gonna bother trying to burn it to a disc with it, especially when you try to burn Blu-ray to regular DVDs. They come out all fucked up and shit. But yeah, I can't. I'm gonna buy that shit as soon as it hits the shelves, just because it's so beautiful to watch. You know what I
mean? Right. Back on the BvS tip though, fucking you didn't like Wonder Woman?
No, Wonder Woman is one of the things that I liked about. Okay. I mean, the only thing that I didn't like about Wonder Woman is that she had nothing to do in the movie. Like, she was just there for the digital picture, and then she helps defeat Doomsday.
But don't you think
know what I'm saying?
that's exactly what the fans wanted? Because they were all afraid that it was going to be too cram-packed, and then you gave us just enough to best believe, even if you don't like the movie, you came out excited for Wonder Woman. Like,
that's a good point. Is what I'm trying to get at, is that with so many things, like, I want to see what got trimmed from the movie, because there's shit that should have been trimmed that didn't get trimmed, that made it to the theatrical cut. And if they would have trimmed that, then they could have added stuff from the uncut shit there. Plus, I think they missed the opportunity for Wonder Woman to kind of get us more hyped for her movie. Because, I mean, I was already kind of hyped for her because Gal Gadot looked like she was going to be a good Wonder Woman and shit. I love Wonder Woman's character, you know what I mean? So I was already excited for it, you know what I mean? And I think that they missed an opportunity with this movie to kind of give her just a, 5 minutes, give her a more of a mission on this. Maybe she's trying to tie up a loose end from something that happened to her movie.
Or even just find an artifact. Change photo to artifact. Going after just one picture makes it sound like you let out a nudie that you don't want the public to hit real quick. You're trying to stop the fucking TMZ from getting it.
I just think they should have found like 10 extra minutes to have her on screen
I
doing
mean,
something.
I
You know what I mean?
I would hate it. Yeah, don't get me wrong. But I think they sprinkled just enough that, I walked away fucking love.
Oh yeah, I'm not hating on it, because I mean I love what she did. She's sexy. She's she carries herself very well. She's a very class. She had very much class, or whatever. With all these good words and shit you can throw out here. You know what I mean? Like, so I wasn't like saying like anything with her performance was not affected by it at all. Shit, I just thought maybe they dropped the ball, and missed the opportunity to just give her a little bit more shine. It doesn't make her break or whatever, but I loved Wonder Woman and shit, especially when she comes in at the end, saves Batman from getting filleted or roasted up or whatever and shit.
Thank you, baby. I think there's a very thin line between what they did and then it becoming Iron Man 2 and shit, you know what I mean? Or even Age of Ultron, where it's just one ginormous 2.5 hour fucking commercial for fucking the next movies and shit. I didn't feel this way in this movie. I felt like it was BvS with some good Easter eggs sprinkled on the nightmare scene and shit like that. It could have been handled better. But even the computer scene, I know we disagree with that, but I thought that was a very good way.
Yeah,
I thought it was a bit heavy-handed at first until I saw it my second time with the kid sitting right next to me. And he was like, oh, that's Flash's logo, so he knew that was coming up. And he goes, oh, that's Aquaman's logo, so he was getting excited. He was literally like this, too.
So you're fine with Lex Luthor knowing the entire Justice League's identity, giving them their logos.
Oh, yeah.
And them introducing it through an email attachment.
Because that's what Lex would do. Half of Smallville was computer shit and him having files and secret projects and shit. I bet when Superman came out, the first thing Lex did was, let me see if there's any other motherfuckers out here like this. You know what I mean?
But the fact that he knows every single one of them doesn't buy. He's in the Justice League right now in the New 52, and he only knows Batman's identity.
But bet when he comes out of it, he has. I mean, that might be how he gets out of prison. He maneuvers his way around it. It's one of those things where the characterization of where you take him next is really going to be important to me. Where it could be make or break. Where I will be casting shade on it. But right now, that's actually kind of brilliant. Like, he knows all these fuckers. So the greatest villain, one of the greatest villains in the DC universe, knowing everybody's identity, that's a nice silver bullet to have, and that's why I'm really interested to see, where this is going next and shit.
Man, well, only time will tell, I guess, because it strikes me as very odd and unconventional. You know what I mean? Than the tradition or whatever, which I'm fine with. It just doesn't kind of make sense to me at least, to where it'd be like, Superman shows up, and then all of a sudden Lex starts scouring the globe to find all this shit, but Batman didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're pretty even on intellect and paranoia and all that shit. And to think that Batman is totally clueless this whole time that this is going on, while Lex is like building this whole archive full of information, possibly trying to build some kind of army for Darkseid or whatever, because they had that deleted scene with Lex and I guess Steppenwolf or whatever, some shit.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw the image. Yeah, okay. And I heard about it too, but who knows? Like, that strikes me as weird too. Has there ever been precedence for Lex Luthor working with Darkseid?
Not necessarily. I wouldn't even say he was working with them, because if anything, Superman was working with them, and there is precedence for that.
Oh yeah,
the animated series alone, right there, boom. Right. But it's more or less that Lex knew it was coming. He was like. And that's one of the things where Lex's character starts getting that development right there, is that he's getting all this extra knowledge. So he's even now smarter than he was before. So he learned that about Darkseid. He learned about them coming. I don't think it's necessarily a good thing. You know, he's worried about that. He's worried about alien invaders. Lex ain't about this. That might even lead up to a Lex teaming up with the Justice League to stop Darkseid. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So he ain't about that alien invaders. He just knows it's coming because he got all this extra knowledge from the computer and shit while he was brewing up fucking Doomsday in his easy bake fucking Kryptonian oven. Well, I'm with you on that scene. Like, I get it. I get that shit all day. But, I don't know, man. Like, even in the Superman death scene, we gotta touch on that, too. I thought that was brilliantly handled because that is the way Superman could die. I thought that was actually better than the fucking Rocky punch where we both hit each other and we both pass out dead that the comic book gave us.
Nah, I don't think it was better. But the last 10 minutes when the Trinity, well, I won't call it Trinity because Batman doesn't do shit but fire a fucking grenade.
But ain't that good for somebody that thinks Batman's overpowered? He wasn't up there doing backflips off of Doomsday and punch him in the face. He hung out in the corner, shot a kryptonite thing, and said, "Good luck, guys," like a normal dude would. You know what I mean? You didn't give us God Batman. Like,
right after he just got done beating the fucking Superman's ass.
All right, well, yeah, okay, maybe I'm skipping. All right, Batman versus Superman. Something we'll co-sign on. Disappointing fight. Way too slow. Way too choppy. Way too dull. Way too dark. Way too fast.
I have no problem with Batman winning because I kind of figured that, like, one of the things I was scared of going into is it was going to be the Dark Knight Returns all over again. Mm-hmm. And it was, but it was in fucking dominating fashion and shit. Like, I wouldn't have had a problem with Batman winning at all if they just gave Superman, like, a little bit of shine, just, like, showcased his potential.
Absolutely.
Made it a little bit more like I said last time I was here, like, you expect this showdown to be the centerpiece of this movie. It's called Batman vs Superman. Mm-hmm. It should have been an epic, memorable.
The Zod battle was better. The Feora battle in Smallville and Man of Steel was better.
You expected it to be like the T-100 versus the T-1000. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like shit you remember. Fucking Luke versus Darth Vader and shit.
It wasn't even Freddy versus Jason.
You know what I mean? Right.
Jason put that motherfucker through a wall and dragged him through it. I didn't see anything like that versus Batman versus
like
Superman.
A Neo versus Agent Smith or something. You know, just something, man.
I co-sign that all day. The fight is definitely the most disappointing part in that entire movie, and it definitely I lost interest right away when that fight was over. Like, really, that was it. And I think it was in response to some criticism, you know, saying that the Batman or Superman Zod fight was too fast, it was too brutal, so they slowed it down and made it more realistic. And that's not what we wanted. It was so boring. I've seen better Injustice battles than that shit. I really have.
The fact they slowed it down made it kind of way boring and shit. The Man of Steel shit, I had no beef with it.
None at all.
With the Man of Steel fights, man. I had no beef with that shit.
None at all.
And that's what they, like, I expected to have like a 20-minute fucking fight scene with Batman and Superman and shit. Like, I was really expecting that shit, like, but it just didn't come, and so it was like, whatever.
And something else that was ruined by the trailers, too. Like, all the actual moments were just ruined by
Superman's
the trailers.
moments. And no, actually, you're right. They did ruin basically the whole fight.
Yeah. And I really didn't think they were.
The only thing they didn't show was
the wearing out of the punch.
They showed them blocking it. They showed them fucking throwing them through the wall. They showed them running at each other, the shove,
the guns, the sirens, all that.
Yeah, they basically showed the entire fucking thing.
Yep.
They really did overexpose the shit out of it. And people are always saying, like, trying to defend the trailers, like, they didn't show us everything.
And they certainly did. And that's not just Batman vs. Superman. Deadpool did the same thing. When we walked out of there, like, we saw literally the best action scenes in the trailer.
On TV, on trailers.
Uncut, too. So it was not even like we saw the R-rated version. We saw the R-rated version in the R-rated trailer. And from now on, that last Suicide Squad trailer I saw will be the last Suicide Squad trailer I saw. That's all I needed. You gave me Queen. You gave me goddamn Joker. I'm happy. I'm there. I'll be there in August.
I'm definitely going to try not to watch. Like, I know I'm going to watch a trailer or something, but I'm going to stop watching, like, every single.
And stop analyzing them like we do. Goddamn, because I think it's an honest reason why I walked away a little bit disappointed, was because I already knew all this shit so well because we overanalyze the fuck out of it doing what we do
for 3 years exactly. Yeah, because that's what we do as admins. And that's kind of why it's like time to take a step back and like I want to enjoy this shit. Because I wanted really to enjoy this movie. Mm-hmm. Like, I went and bought a custom fucking Superman vs. Batman t-shirt just to wear it to this movie.
Right.
Not only did I buy 2 sets of tickets in advance, you know what I mean? I went and bought a fucking $30 goddamn t-shirt to wear it to this motherfucker. Had to go home because of a goddamn blackout. I had to wait an extra day and a half to go see this motherfucker. And then I go see it after 3 fucking years, waiting to see this bitch be born like I'm waiting for a baby to come into the world and shit. and this is what they gave me.
The baby came out Chinese, and you're looking at Snyder, your baby mama Snyder, like, bitch, mail me in Chinese.
Right the fuck on. Right on.
But I also think, and to be fair, man, I think that first night where me and you went to the movie theater and the power went out, and then when me and her went to go see it the actual first time, we sat in the very front row, we could barely see shit. It gave me a little bit of a negative tone to the movie where I might have been a little bit overcritical. So that's why the second viewing, when I just went in there, don't pay attention to the trailer. If I see a trailer scene, I put that original feeling I had when I remember me and you would geek the fuck out on the trailers. Where was that feeling when we saw the movie this time? We already exhausted all of it.
Well,
so that's not really Snyder's fault. It's not the movie's fault that we saw these scenes a million times in the trailer. It's the goddamn
my
movie
whole thing is
company.
once I saw him play out, I was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting and shit. Like when I saw the scene, like when Batman crashes his car over Superman and he rips that door off and he's like, you know, Batman stands up and everybody's like, oh, you see him stand up like he ain't give a fuck. And I'm like, oh shit, it's setting up this battle. It's gonna be dope. And then they flash to the scene where he's like, stay down. If I wanted you dead, if I wanted it, you'd be dead already. And you're like, oh my God. And that's like his dopest shit in the fight right there. And he basically just bullied him. He did nothing but fucking use super strength. And that's what I mean by not showcasing his potential and shit. So he uses heat vision to destroy the sonar guns or the machine guns or whatever the fuck it was. And I get it. Also, one thing that kind of made me the second time around come away from the BvS fight and give it a little bit of leeway was that I understand that Superman was holding back. He didn't know that there was kryptonite in the universe and shit. So he's thinking that Batman can't do shit to him any fucking way, but just do a bunch of dumb shit. And then two, like I said, he's holding back and not doing anything to his full potential. So I kind of fucking get that point with that being said and shit. But after the first kryptonite grenade goes off in his face and then he recovers from that shit, I think he would have took some extra steps. Or at least like stepped up his game and started using some more of his powers. Like, oh, this motherfucker's got shit that can hurt me. This is a whole different ballpark and shit.
Or, on the flip side, I just kind of just thought of this now. Wouldn't it be almost poetic if in Batman vs. Superman, the actual Batman vs. Superman scene, Superman doesn't want to throw a punch and he doesn't. He's just showing that humanity. He's more human than Batman is.
Let him hit you,
and he's sacrificing himself because he wants to save his mom. Even in the end, I bet even in the end when Batman had that spear, he probably could have stopped him, but he didn't. He used his words, he used his humanity. And that might be so deep that, yeah, as a movie fan, we want to go in and see a knockdown, drag-out fight. But if I walk away with a little bit more philosophical look at a Batman vs. Superman, you didn't give me your typical Marvel hero-on-hero fight. You're going to give me some deep shit where Superman is a sacrificial lamb and he just hand behind his back. Like, I could fuck you up, but I won't. It's almost like that handcuff scene in Man of Steel, the symbolism behind it. That's some deep shit.
Right.
Now, it's still a disappointing fight scene no matter what, but when you look at it in that light, and I love the Martha scene. I don't care what anybody says. I love that scene. So fucking much, I really do. It's a little bit cheesy.
Why are you saying her name?
Yeah, and that intensity in his face. You know, I like it. I love that scene. I can't help it.
It's his goddamn mom. Don't kill him.
Chill your tits, Batman. No. Fuck off.
But it was also, I know why this didn't happen, because if it did, there would have been no movie. But it also, like, when Superman shows up and he makes it clear from Jump Street, he's not trying to fight. You know what I mean? And Batman's like, nah, fuck, we throwing hands today, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you talking that shit about my light, told me not to turn this shit on, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Superman shows up, he's like, I'm not trying to fight,
dude. Too. Like, you know what I mean? Light on, kryptonite ready not to give a fuck. Well, here I am. You told me not to be. God, Batman's a pimp. And I kind of fucked myself up just now in that whole metaphor of him with the hand behind your back. Like, what if that was Snyder's endgame? What if it is, I don't plan on this fight to actually be an epic fight or long? If that was just symbolic, you know what I mean? That actually kind of deep, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm looking too into it, but the fact that Superman doesn't really throw a punch at all kind of backs it up. And we know he's down because we've seen him beat the shit out of Zod.
There's no blood loss. And that's what makes it like so crazy. Like, he just told him he was gonna fuck him up. He had it in his mind that he was gonna fight him. But then as soon as he realizes that Lex has his mom, he's like, man, I gotta convince him to help me, or he's gonna kill my mom and shit. So he automatically drops his beat. He stops caring about the vigilante justice shit. Goes over there like, look, man, I need your help. And Batman's like, ha, fucking sonar guns, bitch.
But before he flew over there, he talked to Lois. He's like, I guess people don't stay good forever. And he banged out. He went there with the intent of possibly fucking him up. But I think that just the humanity just overwon it.
I'm sorry. Like,
it's not, but
it's not Superman.
It's not.
Man.
But when you're put against that
part of what makes Superman is that he always finds a way.
Which he did
to get around that shit.
He went there saying, I'm going to fuck him up, but he didn't.
He didn't have to even go there to fight him. Like, he didn't even try to go save his mom or figure out anything. Like, Lex just has his mom. He doesn't know where she's at.
I'll give you that, but overlooking that shit.
Overlooking that, and then still...
He did find his humanity.
And then he goes to fucking see Batman. He goes, look, dude, I'm not trying to fight with you. There's a problem. And Batman's not even trying to hear it. And if he was the world's greatest detective, he would know that Lex was up to some shit right then anyway. He'd be like, you know what? I kind of had a feeling...
Especially with the fact that you look through Lex's personal files.
Yeah, like I kind of had a feeling there was some shit going on with Lex, man. That makes a lot of sense. Hey, let us handle our shit later. Let's go deal with this. But I understand why that didn't happen because there would have been no BvS fucking fight. You know what I mean? So I understand. It's just kind of like a catch-22 because like while me as a viewer, I'm sitting here watching and going, this is stupid because this wouldn't happen. I understand why it's happening for the purposes of moving this movie all fucking long and shit. And that's kind of what makes it kind of childish and lazy to me because it's supposed to be hard to make a good movie. It's supposed to be hard. You're supposed to take the time to flesh some of this shit out, explain it, make it make sense, and make it fucking believable, even though it's fiction, but make it believable in the realm of the situation that you've set up for the people involved in shit. You know what I mean? And it just seemed like they took a couple liberties, like this Terrio dude and Goyer and all this shit. Like, once again, if this half an hour comes out and it's that much better than the theatrical cut, man, I think we need to ride on WB.
I'm ready.
Start passing petitions to have fucking Disney buy the bitches out or
that'll
something.
Be,
like, I don't know.
That'll be Superman versus Batman's purpose to bring down Warner Brothers. I guarantee you that shit. But if not, then I'm.
But regardless,
I'm done with
WB, DC, Snyder, whoever, they done making me look like a fool. They done making me look like a fool.
Wasn't that bad though?
They done making me look like a fool.
Bad.
It was.
How could you go? I go in there and I see my Batman, I see Superman, I see the DC universe.
I see your Batman for real. I don't see my Superman. Like, I don't see any version of my Superman.
What was the last time that Superman inspired anybody?
The last time he died, and that line is coming. That was in my notes too. Like, I swear to God, because now the only thing I can really pull away from this movie is that at least with the death of Superman, maybe the next time the character shows up,
we got full-blown Superman.
They'll be able to reboot him and make him a real Superman, and that it's actually because Superman died that the Justice League is going to come together, and that's basically all I can pull out.
And I like that idea. And then Batman rolling around the world, putting it together, the Seven Samurais.
That's all I can pull from that, though. But at the same, that's my hope that I'm hanging on to. Like, that's the only hope I'm hanging on to.
Well, look how it inspired Batman. Batman instantly has to be a better person. You know what I mean? He even said, we got to honor him.
Cheesy line. I failed him in life, but I won't fail him in life.
I loved it.
Bro, yes, you failed him in life. Failed him epically.
Fuck off. But on some real shit, that inspired Batman. Look how the world came together too. And that beautiful fucking line, if you seek his monument, look around you.
Yeah, just look around you.
The world is done shitting on him. The world is done with the Man of Steel shit. When he comes back, he's going to be the symbol of hope that you always wanted. Imagine it almost like a Superman trilogy. You know what I mean? Like beginning, middle, end.
I'm like, reboot. Reboot. Rebirth.
The DC side is strong in you, bro. Strong in you.
I'm pulling the ditto, man. Let's do it.
I get a lot of joy out of the movie. Real quick, we gotta wrap it up. The ending, Doomsday. I liked them. I remember way back in the day when I wrote my own Death of Superman movie in my head back in like 06 when Superman Returns fucking ruined my life, which is way better than Superman Returns. Let's get that out of the way. You know what I'm saying? One of the things I gave Doomsday was to make him menacing because he's supposed to be menacing, but all he does is Hulk smash. You know what I mean? Yeah. I had him dispersing energy like crazy, and that's exactly what he did in this movie.
Super Saiyan Doomsday?
Yeah, I liked it.
He looked like a Super Saiyan.
Like, when he got him, I loved it. When Superman flew him up, and that was another great Superman. I think the Superman moments you're looking for is more subtle than you're looking for. When he flies him up,
subtle's not what I was. Yeah, especially in a scene like that. Subtle,
when he flies him out of it, he's like, first off, Man of Steel shit happened. I ain't letting that happen again. I'm taking you in outer space. He sees a rocket, a nuclear missile come to him. You literally see the look on his face like, fuck, really, guys? Yeah. But then, what did he do? He grabs Doomsday and says, fuck it, and then moves him towards the fucking nuke. That's Superman, bro. And then you had that
That
classic.
wasn't a feat, though. That was just a moment. You know, that wasn't like him doing like when I say feat.
That's self-sacrificing. That's
I mean,
Superman.
Every Superman movie, and just like every Batman movie, they have that defining moment. You know what I'm saying? Where he solves the case, or he like has his villain shit. He takes him out or whatever. Like every Superman movie, like Superman Returns, he saved the plane or whatever and shit. Like you have that. And Man of Steel, he did the. He was stopping the tower thing from falling down on that fucking those people on the oil tanker or whatever and shit. Like they just gave him the montage in this, and I felt like with how dark it was and how much he was getting shit on, they had missed opportunities to actually show him, actually balance out the darkness of the movie and shit. You know what I mean? With some more heroism and shit. Because, like I said, the only thing they really did was give that montage with Neil deGrasse Tyson on him and everybody's hating on him and shit.
I kind of see it like this, and this is where we got sidetracked, like we always do. Yeah. But to say if DCU is a different entity than what we're used to. Imagine this movie just being part one of the grand picture. We know it is, but I don't think it's going to be like Marvel, where it's just thinly fucking connected shit. I really think a lot of major plot points will connect.
I don't want to wait 10 years to find out how this shit connects together, bro.
Well, all you have to do is wait till next year, and we get Justice League.
Who knows, man?
Like, think about it like a comic
book.
A lot of Imagine if you just got like volume 1 of something, and you're like, fuck everything about it, and you didn't wait for volume 2, 3, and 4. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not saying fuck everything about it. I'm just saying I'm done investing.
And the thing for me was Superman,
real quick. Let them do what they do, and I'm just gonna go see. I'm done watching the trailers. I'm done analyzing it, like you said, and shit. Sitting here getting in my mind like this is gonna be the greatest comic book movie of all time, and then like it don't even come close to being like a decent comic book movie for me.
I think it is. I think it has the integrity of a Nolan flick and the bombastic fucking visuals of a Snyder Bay movie, and some good shit.
Like I said, I'm used to being on the other side of the fence on shit like this. You know what I mean? So it don't bother me at all. You know what I mean? Like.
Just, I'm willing to accept your opinion. I always expect it more than most. I just say next time you watch it, do what I did and inject the fucking feels you had from the trailer into those scenes. I guarantee you, I'm gonna get you that.
I'm not watching it again until the rated R cut comes up.
I think you need one more time in the actual theater too, myself.
I'm gonna wait till the uncut come out, and then I'm gonna catch it on that, and then I'm just gonna look forward to after this. One thing I will say before we wrap this up is that I'm done with the BvS shit. I'm done with the Batman, Superman debate. We get it. Batman wins. He's God.
We had that conversation.
Like, he's God. He can beat everybody. He's on top of shit. Superman, like I'm done with the superhero versus each other shit, man. Let's just do the team up shit. Let's just put this shit to rest. We get it. You know what I mean? Like let's just move on. I just want to see Justice League come together. I want to see them stop a bad motherfucker. I don't want to see motherfucking Batman fighting God. I don't want to see the Throne of Atlantis storyline, for example, if they try to bring Aquaman up and shit. Like, I don't want to see the dissension in the hero ranks and all that shit. Like, I just want to see superheroes.
Or unite the seven, they stay united. They're not fighting no more. Yeah.
I just want to just heroes versus villains. Just go back to the shit that works.
Well, I think that's where we're going,
and that's where that's how we'll be able to unite our fan base and shit. Because like this whole like Nate said, friendships are gonna be tested. Like it's putting people against each other and shit. And it's crazy it's that serious, but it is that serious. You know?
It's that serious.
It's that serious.
It's like you give over like the child in me died. My childhood is dead.
Bro, man, and Kevin Smith echoed me 100%.
But did you see that he said that he liked it the second time around when he saw it in theaters?
No, I listened to the podcast he put out and shit, man, and he was on there like he said, "Is this how it happens? Like you're just sitting in the theater one day and you're just like, did my childhood just die?" I said. I'm fist pumped at work, like.
Yeah, Jason Mewes.
My dude.
Jason Mewes made him see it again, and he said coming out the second time, he found the heart in the movie that he didn't see the first time. He likes it a lot more.
Like, man.
I mean,
when you have to see a movie 3 times,
I get that.
To get it, that doesn't make it a good movie.
But if it's that deep dive, you
didn't have to watch Godfather 15 times and be like, that's a dope ass movie.
It's an overrated movie, but yeah.
Overrated, but it's still a good movie. Overrated or not, it's still like good writing, good, you know what I mean? Good, like it's got emotion and shit like these movies that stand the test of time. Like you watched it for like Training Day. I watched that bitch one time. Classic.
But I mean, you didn't go into Training Day with 75 years of fucking Training Day lore. True,
true.
So I think expectations didn't
shooting ourselves in the foot.
I agree. Yeah.
That's why it's taking that foot back that I just shot. I'm gonna let it heal. I'm gonna learn
to walk again, and I'm gonna start running. I don't know what direction. I got a Marvel shirt on now. Feeling conflicted.
I'm gonna let the foot heal, and then I'm gonna stop shooting myself.
I'll dig it. I'll close with that. I think this movie possibly, and something Brian said that I took a lot of weight with, is this may be something you go back and appreciate later once you see what the DCU plans to do. I think with Justice League Part 1 especially, this might be something where I go back and say...
I hope so, man. I think they should push it back.
I don't.
really do.
I think damage control like a motherfucker.
I think they should. I think Wonder Woman comes out before that, right?
Yeah, it comes out July of next year.
I think they should do a Wonder Woman. They should have made this a Batman movie. That way they would have had those two out the way. And they probably put out either... I would have went with Flash, but I could see them with Aquaman and then putting Justice League out. And then introduce the rest of the Justice League through that shit. Like, I think they needed at least one more or two solo films before they go to Justice
They're
League.
only one movie away from how Marvel did their shit. 'Cause they had Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, and Cap before the Avengers.
Yeah,
and this you have Man of Steel, BvS, Squad, Wonder Woman. So you have 4 to their 5. So only really one movie off. It could benefit from one more.
Squad's really not going to turn into Justice League, we don't think, though.
I think no, but you're going to get a lot more background
So
of
you
the
got
DC
Man of Steel,
universe.
you got BvS, and then you got Wonder Woman.
And Squad.
BvS was kind of like the Dawn of Justice, like, Bridge or whatever.
Yeah.
And shit.
Well, Squad's going to be our first movie on we see how the DC universe acts without Superman. And you get Batman cameos. And
Superman will be back to like the end of Justice League.
Right, but you get to see how the world reacts without him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you're going to get more of the DC grand picture. Batman's going to be in it. You get a lot more of his grand picture. And then you get, Lex is supposedly having a cameo in that as well, which might be
Justice
nice.
League?
Yeah. Or no,
How many
Suicide
picks-
Squad. Suicide
Oh,
Squad.
Suicide.
Yeah.
How many picks has he signed up for?
I heard 3, but don't
'Cause I
quote
know
me
they
on
got
that.
to use him.
Yeah.
If they got him on contract and shit, regardless of how.
I might be confusing him with Ben Affleck, but I swear to God, I think it's 3.
And then the Batman solo film comes out after Justice League.
Which Ben Affleck wrote a script for. I don't know if you saw that shit, but yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think they should at least do Flash in after Wonder Woman and then do Justice League just to give it a basis.
You know what I think? And we'll never get it, unfortunately, but Snyder would make the best Batman movie of all time. If you take Superman out of the picture, Jesus Christ, Snyder would make the best Batman movie
That's
of all
why
time.
I was saying about this movie. It should have just been a Batman movie.
I might actually kind of agree with that.
They
Yeah.
should have just made it a Batman movie, and it would have been, and that means they wouldn't have to deal with the whole Superman bullshit. They could have just, built the DCEU version of their Batman and got that solidified before Justice League came out. They could have worked in whatever Justice League shit they wanted to, even have like a story about Superman in the background or whatever and shit like that. And to me, there's just too many ways they could have went about it, and it's not like it's all hope is lost. They'll do it. They're probably gonna make bank off this movie. They'll probably do $850 or some shit like that, and they'll get their money out of it.
800 is the magic.
Like, I'm not mad at them and shit. I want them to succeed. I want to keep seeing this shit, even though I'm disappointed. Like, I want to keep seeing it. Like, I wanted to like this shit too, but I'm still just because I want to see it don't mean I'm gonna just fucking be like, yeah, man, 9.5.
Them days are gone, huh?
Yeah, them days are gone.
Can't be like Rhea, and it's 9 point. You get Batman's in it, Wonder Woman's in it. That's all I need. Yeah, it has its flaws, but pretty stuff.
I mean, yeah.
Love you.
I can't wait for the DVD to come out.
Oh my God, I'm counting down the fucking days.
I want to see, because
Yeah.
you got me wishing or hoping that, man, this half an hour, man, please just clear it up.
I think it'll salvage
just
a lot.
clear it up, give us some shit.
Can't make it any worse. I'll guarantee you that. I don't think it'll make it any worse.
Damn, like sitting down and watching a Titanic length movie and shit more than once. Like, you have to like set a whole block of time and shit. Like, it took me 3 days to watch it for the third time. I watched the first hour, I watched the second hour, and then I watched the last like 35, 45 minutes and shit. I gotta take that bitch and axe.
Then you are lost.
But yeah, but I can't wait. I mean, I can't wait actually.
I dig it. Regardless, I mean, it's definitely going to be the most controversial comic book movie of all time. It's going to be the most discussed comic book movie of all time. And
I think the debates about it are better than the movie.
I mean, real talk. And there's some of the shit that people take away from it. I think sometimes people go too deep with it, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I think a lot of people are getting a lot of good things with this movie. And I think maybe in the long term of things, it'll be looked upon better. I think this is like Man of Steel all over again, but this time you're on the opposite side of the fence, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm definitely on the opposite side of the fence. But also, like I was saying, leading up to this movie, with rewatching Man of Steel, I kind of got more of an appreciation for things that I originally didn't like about the movie and shit. That kind of made me like, okay, like I was saying earlier, like I can see why they did it. I'm not necessarily like it. I might have done it differently myself, but now it kind of makes a little bit more sense to me, and I've seen it a couple more times and shit. So that very well could happen, but we'll see.
We'll see. Unfortunately, that's like the motif. I want to believe.
Right. I want to fucking believe. I want to believe.
My face was shaking. It was definitely shaking in WB, I think, regardless. The fact that they edited it at the last second already made me lose faith in them. That they were way too worried about the buck, and then I posted Snyder's vision. Snyder, I think, said a lot of good things. He also made Sucker Punch.
I think they need to, yeah. But a lot of people like Sucker Punch despite the fact, and like I said, like even though it's an unwatchable, it's not an unwatchable movie, and I give it like a bad grade, doesn't mean I'm not gonna watch it because like the Thomas Jane Punisher, you know what I'm saying? That's a pretty bad rendition of Punisher and shit. But I like that movie. You know what I mean? Like I watch that shit, and it probably might end up being the same thing for this movie. So I don't know, man. Like it's not unwatchable. Like what's unwatchable? Catwoman. Catwoman unwatchable.
You will have a bear if you couldn't salvage that bitch.
Nah, man.
You know how to like swordfish and have her titties out like every like other 5 minutes. The only way you can salvage
Swordfish Holly.
You know, then it might have been watchable, but no. Jonah Hex was really bad too. Megan Fox just said that nobody should ever watch that movie ever.
Didn't Goyer do Constantine too?
I think he did. Yeah, he absolutely did. But actually, I kind of like the movie.
I do like the movie. They got bad reviews. I mean, other than Keanu, Keanu kind of
horribly miscasted.
He did a good job. He did a good job, yeah.
But he miscast like
a motherfucker. Yeah, I co-sign that.
Right.
But still, it's a great movie.
Like actually, an Asian Superman does a really good job. Still horrible miscast.
Spider-Man 3 unwatchable.
I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. I mean, I get a lot of fuck that movie too. But there's a lot of enjoyable moments in that movie.
Every time I think about Spider-Man 3, I see that dude from the 70s show with the fucking slime shit going, ah!
Still better villain than Lex Luthor. I call him MC Luthor. He's so like, you know what fucked me up, dude? This realization I came to. I'm going to send you a picture of a side-by-side. Guy Pearce in Iron Man 3 was a better Lex Luthor than Jesse Eisenberg. And there's a picture where he's standing in the exact same suit Lex is, catty-cornered, wind blowing in his fucking trench coat. And there's a picture of Eisenberg doing the same thing. And I'm looking at that like, oh, fuck. So much of a better representation of what Lex should have been.
That's really out of left field, too. Like, I wouldn't have even thought about that.
And I think a lot of the defenders of this, like, well, it's just a different interpretation, like Jared and fucking Clifton. If you even bring up the fact that you don't like Lex, they fucking lose their fucking minds.
They really liked him?
No, they loved him. They have to love everything about the movie. But fucking, goddamn, I lost my train of thought. Like, imagine if we got Kingpin and Daredevil.
Start thinking about dicks and shit.
Right, yeah. It's normal. Like, it's 10% of all people, like, randomly sucking dicks, all right? It's a real condition. God damn it. Imagine in Daredevil, if we got a Kingpin that was, instead of bald, had a goddamn curly hair. Like, ooh, Daredevil, paradoxal. Oh. People would have been pissed. But why do people like Kingpin so much? Why is he the best villain in the MCU right now? It's because they nailed it to the character core. So, I mean, even if it is a secret origin, and I'm kind of giving it that defense right now, or just judging it by the solo movie itself, that was fucking Jim Carrey's Riddler, bro. All fucking day. There's even times, like in the beginning speech he gives when he's at the, when he's talking to the Senator the first time, he sounded just like it. It's Jim Carrey's Riddler all day. All day. Riddle me this! Superman.
Just over the top.
Yeah.
Just over the top, yeah.
Like, he's not that geeky. He squeaks throughout the whole fucking movie like he chewed a fucking dog toy and he got, like, large in his lyrics and shit. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
And I don't understand why they chose to go to Lex Jr. route anyway, you know what I mean?
But bad gangster theory that's going around, and I'm actually kind of believing it, is the fact that he brought up his dad 7 times in that movie with no background fucking at all. A lot of people are thinking, since Bryan Cranston was considered for the role, they're going to bring him back as Lex Sr. I'm like, ooh, 2 Lexes for the price of 1? It's unheard of. It's new. It's fresh. Yeah. I'll get behind that shit.
I don't know about getting behind it, but I'll definitely give it a chance.
It's better than what we got, so...
I mean...
Hope. I'm reaching for it, but, you know... Out, so. It could be a thing.
I'm not opposed to Bryan Cranston as Lex anyway. Like, they had so many better...
I was never on the Bryan Cranston train, because I always thought he was a little bit too old for the role, but...
I was on the Joaquin Phoenix train and
I could get on that, yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know about him being bald and shit, but he looked like he would have been one. Oh, no, not him. Not Joaquin Phoenix. The fucking Billy Zane.
All day for Titanic?
Yeah. That was the motherfucker I wanted, man, because they had this one time fucking like photoshopped or whatever. They had him on with all bald and shit. I'm like, oh, that motherfucker look gangster,
right?
Yeah.
I could get by it. Really, anybody but Eisenberg. That was definitely the weakest link in the movie to me. Definitely the weakest link. Way too goofy. Way too. God, in a perfect world, imagine Rosenbaum with that kind of material. You know what I mean? But at least, like, characterization-wise, the Capitol Hill scene, that was kind of cool. Like, you gave me crazy scientist Lex Luthor. billionaire playboy. It was Lex to some degree, and especially if the characterization goes darker later. I'll appreciate it later. So I give it that asterisk. It comes with a
I just
caveat,
wanted him
I
to be
guess.
smarter. He just didn't strike me as like the brilliant motherfucking Lex that I know. You know what I mean? Like,
You have to take it on the word.
like Lex is a mother. He's like 50 moves fucking ahead of you. You know what I mean? He's got the art of war memorized and can recite that shit to you word for word. You know what I mean? Like,
This motherfucker couldn't even get a speech at his own party.
yeah, he's like going off on tangents, talking about other. Everybody's looking around like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Right. Paradoxal. Bad Lex. He starts cutting his hair. I'm a bad boy. Like, no, man.
My Prozac.
And I think the biggest fault about Lex is there's no background to him. Why does he hate Superman? Why does he want to go against him? There's no motivation at all.
They basically I think they just chalked it up that they were riding up to everybody just
Expecting Lex hates Superman.
No,
yeah.
because I mean, it's a common thing with Lex that he hates Superman because he's a god, and that's why they kept working in all that anti-god mythology or whatever. You know, you can't be all good and all powerful and all that shit. Like, I think they just assumed everybody would know why Lex hates Superman. It's because he's Superman and he's not and shit. You know what I mean? He's got power, he doesn't share it. He can't be trusted, yada, yada, yada. But they didn't really go into a whole lot of backstory on that shit. I think they took a lot of liberties just assuming that people would get
I agree.
it, you know
And don't
what I mean?
assume. Show me. Tell me.
Exactly.
Do something. A little bit of exposition,
100%.
even if it's heavy-handed exposition. Even if you're hitting me over the head with flashbacks to the origins. What I think would have been great is, imagine if we get a scene in the opening where Bruce is in Black Zero. Imagine if Lex was there. You know what I mean? And something happens with the world engine. He gets blasted with a wave. And now he has cancer. And his hair's slowly falling out. So he's dying. So he wants to destroy Superman's image. He could kill Superman easily, but I want to destroy your image. I don't want to make you a martyr. If I kill you, you're a martyr. If I can destroy your image and make the world see you as I see you before I die and take you with me, oh, that's beautiful.
That's more of a Lex
characterization.
plan, though, because like I was saying last time, is that Lex wants to kill Superman, and then he wants the world to call him a hero for it. You know what I mean? Like,
And then you would have to draw the parallels.
That makes him iconic because he's one of the few bad guys that thinks that he's doing the right thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
This one knows he's fucked up. Well, like you said, nobody that pisses in a mason jar thinks they're a good guy. You know what I mean? Like George Washington never pissed in a mason jar. Like send that shit to the fucking British. You know what I mean?
Imagine
Like,
this motherfucker walking in Capitol Hill to pass security, just walking up to the glass of jar, piss, set it up there and walk away.
what do you got there, son? Granny Beach City, baby. No, you can get a cabbie search for bringing a big fucking vat of liquid in there stinking like that. And that had to smell because that's why she stopped out of nowhere like, what the fuck smells like piss? Even the dude next to her was like, yeah, something stinks around here. Something smells like piss.
He said, you know, she had to smell that
She
shit.
had to smell it.
It was hot up in that motherfucker.
Right? But I like that scene. That is the one I think that doesn't get enough credit because Lex went dark there. And I think that is kind of smart. You killed Mercy to tie up a loose end. You used a handicapped dude's wheelchair to do it. He had no knowledge about it. And you blew up governors, senators, politicians, and innocent people too. You blew up Capitol fucking Hill. There's no characterization of Lex where I seen him do something that drastically dark. He got away with it.
no, he didn't. He went to jail for that shit.
Because of Doomsday. Doomsday was his plan. Fuck it.
Oh well, but they never explained this. Maybe they will in 30 minutes or not. But I think that maybe if Lois was going to contribute anything to this, she would be able to come forth with the information she came up with in her investigation and shit.
Yeah, as
They
the
can connect
evidence.
and tie all that shit to him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, he was trying to frame him this dude was seen here at that time, meeting with him in the wheelchair and all that shit. Connect all the dots for him.
Yeah.
He regardless, just on the Doomsday shit alone, he should not be getting out that motherfucker unless somebody breaks him out. You know,
Right.
Dark Side maybe get him out. I don't know who gonna get him out, but otherwise that motherfucker's locked up for life.
What do you think? We're looking at the final battle. No fucking Death of Superman. Just the final battle.
The final battle itself, actually, I think is the best part of the movie.
I agree.
Especially when the Trinity comes together. Like, it's kind of up and down beforehand, but when the Trinity comes together, Superman, Wonder Woman's fighting, and Batman's kind of running around in the background like, what do I do? What do I do? And then he, shoots his little grenade or whatever. That was like actually like pretty enjoyable and shit.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Death of Superman thing, I don't know. I think visually, since I was just in love with that panel from the comic book with them, killing each other with the punch and shit, shattering the windows and all that shit. Like, that shit's just ingrained in my mind and how it went.
I'll give you one thing that I wanted this ingrained in my mind is I wish the cape got ripped off and it was
just flapping in
the wind. Why not, Snyder? You made Watchmen scene for
That would
fucking
have been
scene.
a dope ass visual.
Dope ass visual. But there was something about when he grabbed it like, this is my world. You are my world. I was like, oh. And then he jumped and he did that fucking Jarugan and fucking speared him and shit and shoved it through. And the fact that he's emitting kryptonite energy everywhere, and he's exposed to the actual kryptonite itself. That is a belief, and stabbed through the heart. That makes me believe Superman can die more than I punch you really hard, you punch me really hard, and I pass out.
Right.
So for me, that was a real, and just the music too. The bum bum bum, and Superman rolls on the ground dead. Ooh, that was powerful. The scenes after, when Lois got the ring, I ain't gonna lie, I got misty-eyed. I was like, oh God, he's gonna marry that bitch. Like, misty-eyed, bro. Like, that shit was deep.
Real quick, like we keep saying this shit.
Might as well take it to an hour and a half. We got, real quick, 12 more minutes, fuck it.
Another thing that I thought was wildly inconsistent was the kryptonite and shit. Inconsistent as far as kryptonite doesn't strip powers, as far as I know. It doesn't make totally human and shit. And when it was exposed to him via the aerosol agent, which you can make arguments for, hey, it was just the aerosol version of the astrometric settings that were on the Black Zero ship or whatever, that made him regular or whatever. You can act like it was just like a weaponized form of that. They just short burst. I can get that. But the kryptonite spear had him totally incapacitated as well. Like, he just couldn't do shit. You know
That's something you need to get over as a Superman fan. I think Superman fans have problems with kryptonite.
No, I would have no bones admitting that I think kryptonite is, if not the stupidest next to Martian Manhunter's fire, the stupidest fucking weakness ever that's been constructed for a superhero. With that being said, I understand that it has its purposes, plot device, yada 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 yada. Just consistency, man. Just consistency.
But there's no precedent for kryptonite to be consistent. In any medium is always different.
Even in this medium right here, the kryptonite totally stripped him of his powers until he needed to fucking fly a spear into Doomsday's chest. He couldn't do shit anytime before that, but when it was time to suck it up and fly over here and do this, he could do it.
Well, I mean, one could argue, and this is reaching, and I'll give you it, but one could argue he's still fucked up. I mean, he just ingested a bunch of kryptonite gas, too. So he still had that in his system when Batman came up with the spear. So he was all kind of crypto fucked up.
And that's after twice, too, man. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, I ain't riding on that.
Superman. I just think Superman fans. I can't get behind that. I think Superman fans just have a problem with kryptonite. If you love Superman, you gotta accept the bullshit that is kryptonite.
You can't tell me that you don't have a problem with kryptonite. It's kind of a ridiculous plot device in the first place, and even if it is, you can't say, like, even from medium to medium, okay, if we're going to do this right, we're going to say that all you have to do is pull out this piece of rock and Superman drops down, he's totally useless.
There's not even consistency of what the colors do to everybody. Like, look how red kryptonite affected Supergirl opposed to everywhere else, you know what I mean? Like, she was exposed to it for like a hot second, and then she was just possessed by it. In other mediums, it has to be on its person. In other mediums, I mean, kryptonite always changes.
The effects of it are kind of general. I mean,
it used to be in the comics, it just made them mad. You know what I mean?
It's just to me that this is just a minor thing, but just the kryptonite thing, like, I can see, like I said, the aerosol thing, mimicking the atmospheric conditions of Krypton and shit like they did on the ship. I can get
astromech droid. I gotta bring that up.
I'm trying to like atmospheric. You know,
he's making up words.
I want to keep saying astromech or something.
Bring up R2 and shit. Oh Jesus, Mimi. I'm gonna make a meme of that shit later.
Fuck you. But yeah, man.
I think we crushed almost every point.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much fleshed it out. I mean, for the most part, and shit. And then, thus ends the great debate.
Yes, sir. No blows were thrown, so that's a good thing. It was a lot more peaceful than I thought it was. Maybe you're just defeated in the spirit.
Man, like, I pulled up and shit, like, man.
I don't even want to do this shit.
I'm tired of this right now.
And you ain't even debating. Like, you ain't even on Facebook.
I've debated. Like, I haven't debated. I've given a couple people. I've given my opinion and shit to. Like, and I've tried to keep it less than 15 minutes. You know, what I mean? Per rant.
Right. As we hit the hour and 22-minute mark right now.
Well, yeah, we're doing like actual discussion and shit.
Right.
Like, when I go to work, like I said, the first day I came back from watching over the weekend, I literally went in there and told motherfuckers, "Don't ask me about this movie."
Right. I don't even want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it. Talk to me later and shit. Motherfuckers was like, "Damn, it's that bad." I'm like, "You heard what I just said, right?"
You went to work like after you lose a parent. Like, y'all know I'm in mourning. I know you want to give your condolences. I don't even want to talk about it. I just want to come here and do my fucking job. Like, you act like your great-great-great-grandpappy just died in front of you.
What do you know? The motherfuckers didn't listen. They still walking up on me.
Hey, yo, go ask Cass about Batman vs. Superman. Trust me, you'll thank me later.
Assholes. Still walking up on me and shit.
I mean, what do you expect though? Really? Don't talk about this shit. We're gonna talk about all that.
Oh, we talking about that.